Hey everyone, and a massive, warm welcome back to the channel. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here with me today. Before we dive into one of the most incredibly cool and mind-bending phenomena on our planet, I want to take a sincere moment to send my very best wishes to you and your family. I genuinely hope you are feeling happy, healthy, and full of positive energy. Remember to take a deep breath and be kind to yourself. Now, prepare to have your perception of the ocean completely turned upside down, because we are going to talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a fantasy novel, but is 100% real. There are actual lakes and rivers flowing along the bottom of the ocean. I know that sounds completely impossible. How can there be a lake, a body of water, inside the ocean itself? It feels like a paradox, like saying there's a fire burning underwater. But it's true, and the secret to this magic trick lies in one simple scientific principle: density. You see, not all water is created equal. The water in these underwater lakes and rivers is incredibly salty, so much salter than the regular ocean water around it that it becomes a different liquid altogether, with different properties. Imagine you have a glass of water and you try to mix some regular cooking oil into it. No matter how hard you stir, the oil will eventually separate and float on top of the water because it is less dense. Now, imagine if you had a liquid that was heavier than water. It would sink and form a separate pool at the bottom. That is exactly what happens in the deep ocean, but instead of oil and water, it's super salty water and regular seawater. These incredible features are officially called brine pools, and they form in places where the seafloor has large deposits of salt, often from ancient salt beds that were formed when parts of the ocean dried up millions of years ago. Over time, these salt deposits get buried under layers of sediment. Then, geological activity, like the movement of tectonic plates, can crack the seafloor open. When this happens, water seeps down into these cracks, dissolves the massive salt deposits, and becomes supersaturated with salt. This creates a liquid that is so heavy, so dense with dissolved minerals and salt, that it cannot mix with the lighter ocean water above it. It then gushes back out of the seafloor and settles into the depressions and valleys of the ocean bottom, forming stunningly clear, still pools and flowing down slopes as rivers, complete with their own banks and shorelines. They are, in every sense of the word, underwater lakes. The environment around these lakes is one of the most extreme on Earth. They are found in the deep ocean, often thousands of meters below the surface, in a world of complete darkness, crushing pressure, and freezing cold. But the brine pool itself is even more extreme. The salinity in these pools is so high that it can be 4 or 5 times salter than the surrounding ocean water. This creates a deadly trap for most ocean creatures. The high salinity is toxic and sucks the water right out of their cells through a process called osmosis. Because of this, these pools are often called jacuzzis of despair or underwater dead zones. If a regular deep-sea fish or crab accidentally wanders into the brine, it will be stunned, paralyzed, and ultimately preserved by the salt, much like a pickled cucumber. Remains of these creatures can be found lying on the shores of these lakes, perfectly pickled for years. But here is where it gets even more fascinating. While these pools are lethal to most life, they have become an oasis for extremophiles, organisms that thrive in extreme conditions. Specialized bacteria and archaea, which are ancient single-celled organisms, have evolved to not only survive in this toxic, salty, and oxygen-poor environment, but to actually flourish. They don't need oxygen. They get their energy from the methane and hydrogen sulfide that also often seep out from the same seafloor vents. These microbes form the base of a unique food web. Scientists are intensely studying these tiny life forms because they offer a glimpse into how life might exist on other planets. The harsh, chemical-rich environment of a brine pool is a closer analog to the conditions on Jupiter's moon Europa or Saturn's moon Enceladus than almost any other place on Earth. By studying who lives here and how they do it, we might be learning the rules for life elsewhere in our solar system. Exploring these underwater lakes is an immense challenge. It requires using remotely operated vehicles, which are essentially robotic submarines equipped with high-definition cameras, bright lights, and robotic arms. The pilots of these vehicles navigate them with incredible precision, flying over the shorelines of these lakes, taking samples of the brine and observing the unique biology. The visuals they send back are surreal. The surface of the brine pool is so still and distinct from the ocean water that it looks like a shimmering, silvery mirror, perfectly reflecting the lights of the submersible. You can see the waves and ripples on its surface as the vehicle disturbs it. The brine is so much denser that it moves in slow motion compared to the ocean water above it. The vehicles can even dive into the pool, sinking into the heavy, clear brine to collect samples from the bottom of the lake itself. The discovery of these features has completely changed our understanding of the ocean floor. We used to think of the abyssal plain as a vast, flat, and muddy wasteland. Now we know it is a dynamic, complex landscape with mountains, canyons, waterfalls, and yes, lakes and rivers. These brine rivers can flow for miles, carving channels into the seafloor sediment just like rivers do on land. They're a powerful reminder that our planet still holds immense, breathtaking secrets. They show us that even in the most hostile, alien environments on Earth, life finds a way to not just exist, but to create entire ecosystems that operate by a completely different set of rules. The existence of these underwater lakes and rivers is a testament to the incredible power of chemistry and geology, and a humbling reminder of how much we have yet to discover about the deep, mysterious world that covers the majority of our planet. It is a hidden world within a world, waiting to be explored. Thanks for watching, everyone. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.